pretty exciting brand of football down the stretch. They have a Point Pleasant team in town that on paper, Jeff, looks like they're struggling. They're 4-4. They've got to win tonight, and they got to go to Winfield and beat the Fighting Eddie Smolders next week to be able to get themselves into playoff contention. But this team, when you watch them on film, they are better than 4-4. They've dealt with a lot of injuries this year, and they've also played a couple of really good schools out of Ohio that knocked them off.
What would Lee Corso say? Not so fast, my friend. They are very, very a good football team, as you said. Now, we went down to Greenbrier East, and Greenbrier East kind of handed us our hat down there on the road that night. This is a football team that beat Greenbrier East 30-7 in the season opener. They are a very formidable opponent, Brian. They are very well coached. They are very disciplined. They're big. They're fast. They're strong. They've got skilled people. I mean, it's a good football team. Don't be fooled by that record, because if they get into the playoffs, they're going to make some people scratch their head a little bit and say, where's this been all year?
Final game of 2022, Jeff. What would a win do for this program? Get the old Oaken bucket back for the first time in nearly a decade, and really probably the biggest win for this program in a couple of years.
Well, I'll just revert back to ancient history. I'm going to go back to my sophomore year of high school, Ripley playing Ravenswood, a Jimmy Knight team over there in Ravenswood, great team, big team. We upset them, and I think every coach in the state called Coach Hart that night to congratulate him. That'll be the same thing if this happens here tonight. If Ripley can find a way to upset the Black Knights here at home, Coach Sayre's phone will ring off the hook tonight of people congratulating and say, what did you do to get that win? That's how big it would be.
All right, Jeff, let's take it down to the sideline and check in with Phil Iman for the Halls Tires Sideline Report. Phil, good evening. Uh-oh, have we lost Phil? Well, we had him the entire pregame, and here we go with the Phil. We'll step out, Phil. We'll try you again after this break. Jennifer, we'll take a break. When we return, hopefully we'll find Phil down there on the Memorial Stadium sidelines. You're listening to the WVU Medicine Jackson General Hospital Countdown to Kickoff right here on C98, The Bull. Stadium. Let's try it one more time. Phil standing on one leg with a coat hanger in the air. Hall's Tires sideline report. Phil, are you with me?
I can take a hint.
I gotcha. Phil, last week was special in how things unfolded. We were able to overcome some adversity, get a difficult win in a pretty exciting fashion. Do you feel that has carried over, vibe a little bit here tonight?
Well, I definitely think that the sideline was pretty energetic this evening already. Also, it's a bigger cheerleaders. We have some alumni in the pregame, so it's a really good attitude on the sidelines today. But I think these guys are ready to play because they're getting ready to square off and kick it off with a pretty talented 4-4 Point Pleasant team here in just a second.
Phil, the concern becomes, will the emotion of last week spill over into a flat performance tonight? How do we guard against a slow start?
Well, that's what we need to break, because after our other wins this year, that we've had the pregame with all the extra people on the sideline. I think this is where we have to buckle down, because I got news for you guys. Point Pleasant doesn't really care what's happening on our sidelines. They're trying to make the playoffs, and they're ready to run through us to get it. So they're going to find out in just a second how real this game is.
All right, Phil, appreciate it. We'll check back in with you midway through the first quarter, and hopefully we'll get all that cleaned up again here this evening. Deep to return for the Black Knights. A couple of players I do not have on my roster, so we will try to get that lined out. Mason Gandy will kick it off for the Vikings. Vikings will be kicking off left to right. Final game of 2022 as Gandy gets it underway. Kick fielded at the 17, across the 25, still on his feet at the 30. Dragging Viking tacklers out to about the 32-yard line. So pretty good return there for Point Pleasant. Noah Casto in there on the stop.
Noah looks really fired up here tonight. Brian saw him come out of the locker room. His hair was on fire. He gets down and fields that kick, or covers that kick, comes up with the stop.
That was Hughes on the return. 11:53. Here's the handoff. Sweep play right side, across the 35, upended at the 38. Penalty flag on the ground.
And Brian, you can see that Point Pleasant has watched some film. Last week, Shady Springs was able to get to the edge and make big chunks of yardage throughout the night. That time the Vikings were there, and they make the stop.
And a holding is going to be marked off from the line of scrimmage, which was roughly the 38.5-yard line. We'll back it to the 29, so a 9.5-yard penalty. Getting behind the chains, Jeff, that's big for this Viking team. If they can keep this team in predictable pass situations, gives them a better shot, slow them up.
Sure does.
1st and 15. Handoff coming near side, across the 30. Jenkins brings the ball carrier down at the 34-yard line, so about back to the original line of scrimmage.
And Brian, we can see the Point Pleasant Black Knights are going to attack the edges early in this ball game, trying to get out there in space and try to make a big play.
Bowen, the ball carrier. 2nd down and 9. In the pistol. Here's the handoff. Bowen again, right side, puts his shoulder down, runs into a wall of Vikings at the 37-yard line, a gain of 3. It'll bring up 3rd and medium here for Point Pleasant.
Good job once again over there on that left side of that Viking defense. They stood their ground. They didn't allow Bowen to get to the edge. When he cut it back, there were some Vikings there to fill the hole and bring him down.
3rd and 6 at the 37-yard line. Roach in the gun, man in motion. Handoff underneath. It's going to be 1st down yardage. And Virgil, well, he might be a yard short, Jeff. It looked like he was easily going to get there, and closing out of nowhere on Caden Hill was Virgil Myers. He's a good yard short.
That counter play, and the Red Sea opened up, Brian. He had a huge hole to come through as the Vikings over-pursued, but Virgil stayed at home, and it's a good thing he did.
They'll go for it in their own territory at their own 42. Big play here, Jeff, early in the ball game. Roach, same formation. Bowen to his right. Roach will call his own number, and he's got the first down right up the Viking defense across midfield down to the 40. The Viking 40. Jenkins there to slow him up. And if you got that in your arsenal, why not go for it on 4th and 1?
Yeah, and that's something that probably Coach Darst will go back to. There was a big play by the quarterback, had a lot of blockers up in front of him, and they made a huge hole into that interior line of the Viking defense and get the first down.
Roach with Bowen behind him in the pistol. 1st and 10. Gives to Bowen, and Bowen will plow forward down inside the 40. Noah Casto in there on the stop. They'll mark him down at the 37, a gain of 3.
Point Pleasant is content to keep the ball on the ground here, getting chunks of yards here in the last 2 or 3 plays, Brian. So Viking defense got to shore up a little bit and slow them down.
2nd and 7 at the 37. Roach in the gun. Man in motion, jet sweep. They give it to Hill. Turns the corner across the 35, down near the 31. He'll be a yard shy. It'll bring up 3rd and 1.
And once again, they just outnumber us over there on that far side. And it's a tough thing to do, Brian, but someone over on that side's got to take out those lead blockers, sacrifice their own body, and so somebody else can come up and field and get the running back. If you just keep backpedaling and retreating, they're going to get big chunks.
Roach in the gun. He'll call his own number again, left side. He has first down yardage, still on his feet. Across the 20, down across the 10, down near the 5, and a host of Vikings bring him down. Jenkins in there, along with Myers to finish him off. But you can see, Jeff, that's 26-yard gainer there on 3rd and 1.
They just lull you to sleep with those running backs and coming across on those counter plays and other things, and the defense forgets about the quarterback. He makes the fake. He takes it up in there and brings it down inside the 5-yard line, Viking territory.
Roach calls his own number right side this time, makes one man miss, puts his shoulder down, dives for the goal line. Touchdown, Point Pleasant. With 7:33 to go here in the first quarter. They strike first.
Looked like we had it defended pretty well, but you caught it on the live feed there, Brian, as he made one Viking defender miss, and when that defender missed, he made his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
On to attempt the extra point kick, Alex Schrader. Snap back, placement down, kick is up, and it is good. Virgil came an ace of blocking that one, Jeff. 7-0. Point Pleasant leads it here over the Vikings.
Virgil's one of the best that I've seen, especially at the high school level coming off that edge, Brian. He comes very, very close to blocking a lot of point afters. And probably, I think he's self-taught pretty much. He just is a gutsy. He goes out there and lays out for that. So, but doesn't come up with the Vikings trail 7-0, 7:33 to go here in the first period of play. Not the way that we wanted to start this ball game. As Point Pleasant takes the opening kick and drives it right down via the ground, Brian. Didn't have to go to the air. Had some down and distances that were pretty long. They stayed within their game plan and just continued to run the ball for big chunks of yards, and they score the opening touchdown.
Similar start last week, though, Jeff, as Shady jumped on top of the Vikings early, as Schrader now will kick it off for the Black Knights. Jenkins and Myers Jenkins and Lawrence deep to return. Point Pleasant offsides, no call. Jenkins will field it and boot it at the 7, picks it up at the 10, across the 15, cuts it back in at the 12, and he is going to be stacked up back at about the 14. So he lost a couple of yards on that muffed kickoff. So a gain of about 7 or 8.
good kick by Point. As you said, we kind of bobbled the ball a little bit and kind of broke down. We were able to field it by Jenkins and get back to the 15-yard line.
So the Vikings will take over with 7:26 to go here in the quarter. Give to Hunter Brown, left side, hit hard behind the line of scrimmage.
Brian, I bit my tongue a little bit when you said the same score. This ain't shady. As you've seen on that first defensive play, they are big and strong and fast, and they got to that ball carrier very quickly on that first down play for a loss of a yard.
They're also mad, Jeff.
Yeah, they're very upset.
Not a good combination. Josh Chapman in there on the stop. So it'll be 2nd down and 11 for the Vikings from their 14. Myers to the sideline. They'll change the play. 7 seconds on the play clock. Myers calls his own number. Left side, turns it up, across the 20, 25. Into the secondary. It's a foot race. 40, 45, midfield. Cuts it back in. Viking 40. He's brought down in Point Pleasant territory. Mr. Excitement.
Sure
making it
is.
happen again.
And Virgil looks over at the Point Pleasant bench and said, "You got a running quarterback?"
So do we.
Yes, sir.
Long run for Virgil, 46 yards on the gainer. And the Vikings in business as they're going to go quickly. Parker Bowles credited with the stop. Now they'll get to the line and change the play. 12 seconds. Longest run of the season for the Vikings. 46 yards. Myers looking to throw. Near side, caught. Jenkins has it. Stretches out across the 35. And he'll stretch to the 34-yard line. A gain of 6 on first down.
Pretty good pitch and catch. Safe throw out there. Jenkins makes the catch, coming back to the ball like he should. Turns it upfield, then stretches the arm out for a couple extra and picks up 6 yards.
Reese Hunt on the stop. 2nd down and 4. Vikings again quickly to the line, but take their time when they get there. That makes it difficult for Point Pleasant to substitute. 12 seconds on the play clock. Lawrence shifts to Myers' right. 3 receivers to the left of the formation, and Myers will call his own number right side. Makes another man miss across the 30. Down to the 28-yard line. A gain of 6. First down Vikings.
And once again, Virgil got to the edge, eluded one tackler, got behind a blocker, and wiggled his way forward, as you said, Brian, inside the 30. First down, Vikings. Officials having a little trouble moving the chains. Vikings are ready to go here on offense.
5:07. Clock stopped. Now turning. First quarter. 7-0 Point Pleasant. Aiden D'Amico gets the call. Sweep left side. Looking to get the edge. And he'll pick up a couple of yards. Just could not find any room, Jeff, but good of him to get a couple of yards out of nothing.
Sure was. Just speed and determination that time by D'Amico. As the Black Knights were there, they just couldn't catch him at first, and he got a couple yards before they were able to take him down to the turf.
Great job by Colton Weaver over there, Jeff, the big down lineman on the right side of that offensive line to string that play out and limit Aiden D'Amico to 2 yards. 4:25, Vikings 2nd down and 8. Here comes Brown in motion, snap back. Myers looking to throw, nowhere to go, he'll tuck it. Across the 25, still on his feet, 20, makes one man miss, 15. And on his feet at the 10, down to the 7. Laundry on the field, Jeff. He's making people miss like he's out there playing Sandlot. Now he's getting the fans into it. I love Virgil Myers.
I think he is playing. He looks like a video game out there. I don't know what buttons you push to make him cut like that, but great play, busted play. He made something out of nothing. Couldn't find a receiver open. I think they were going to try to get it to Brown out on the edges. He came out of the backfield, but wisely pulled it down and got great yardage inside the 10-yard line at the 7.
20-yard gain for Virgil, near hash. Now they'll hand it off to Hunter Brown. They go full house backfield. He'll pick up a couple of yards. Upended at the 5-yard line. Chapman on the stop.
And Brian, the Viking offense thus far has done a good job of keeping Point Pleasant off balance. You know, we go to the shotgun, we can run out of it, we can pass out of it, we go under center. run the ball, getting positive yardage. So let's see if the Vikings can get this next 4 yards, get it in the end zone.
2nd and goal at the 4. Pretty good spot there for the Vikings. Hunter gets the call again, right side. Powers into the end zone. They're going to mark him down about a half a yard shy, maybe a half a football shy. Viking fans are celebrating.
Tough spot, partner. His body was in. They turned him. And when he fell to the ground, it looked like the ball was just outside the line needed for the touchdown.
So here they go, 3rd down and goal from the half-yard line. Virgil calls his own number, knifes into the front of that defense, and he's into the end zone for the Viking touchdown. 7-6. Now the Vikings will need a 2-point conversion to grab the lead.
We wondered if the Vikings would answer on offense. They just answered the question, Brian, as they drive it down. I think that was 85 yards on that drive.
5-minute and 20-second drive as well, as they will now have to go for 2. The extra point struggles are well documented this year.
You know, we have got that bread and butter play that we have run so often that has come through with the back coming through the line and run that little out, clearing out that one side. Let's see if we go to it again.
Virgil barking out instructions as he trots over to the left hash mark. 6 seconds. Vikings shifting into formation. 5 seconds. Now they're going to have to burn a timeout.
Wow.
Not when you want to have to burn a timeout there. And I know, Jeff, that'll drive Coach Sayer crazy. But while we have a moment, let's take it down to the sideline. The Hall's Tires sideline report. Phil?
Guys, what an answer by Virgil and the Ripley offense here. Exactly what they needed to do to come down here on the sidelines, march 85 yards, and nobody but Virgil deserved to get that touchdown. What a great moment for him out here. Hall's Tires offers Michelin and BF Goodrich tires that are safe, fuel-efficient, long-lasting tires that provide exceptional performance and extraordinary value. Hall's Tires on Shield Lakes Drive in Fairplain.
Phil, we got through it unscathed. Attaboy. We finally, hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed and think that we got everything lined out. Big drive, Jeff. Big answer for the blue and white here against, I think, arguably the best team we've played all year.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you just look at them on paper and you look down and you see the size they have, the experience they have. You put that with the speed at quarterback and other positions. Formidable foe for sure.
So the Vikings will go for 2. Still got got the wrong personnel on the field. Jenkins comes off, Myers in the gun. Hunter Brown to his right. Play action. He'll roll right, looking to throw. He's got D'Amico wide open, Jeff. They flood that zone, and they bring those receivers from the opposite side of the formation, and they get lost in the soft spot of the zone, and the Vikings lead it 8-7.
And D'Amico, the diminutive one, Brian, he's hard to see back there, but he was very smart in finding a hole, as you said, in that zone and just setting down. Gave Virgil an opportunity to continue to roll and see him in the back of the end zone for the 2-point conversion, 8-7 our score. The Vikings bounce back on the offensive side and take the lead.
Jeff, it'll be interesting if you can keep the pressure on Point Pleasant playing for their postseason lives here tonight. No pressure on the Vikings. They can just come out, play, and have a good time tonight. Point Pleasant has to win tonight. They have to win next week, but they can't win next week if they don't win tonight, so it's not going to matter. And they trail here to the Vikings inexplicably 8-7.
Yes, for sure.
So Mason Gandy will kick it off. Hill deep to return. Gandy, second kickoff of the ball game. Short kickoff, fielded at the 24. Up across the 30. Still on his feet, out to the 35. Pushing out near the 40-yard line. Pretty good return there, as they will have great field position. Cody Lawrence in there on the stop.
Yeah, he got up to almost the 39, if not the 39, Brian, and they push him back before he gets to the 40-yard line. But Once again, pretty good field position for the Black Knights. See if the Viking defense can right the ship here a little bit, get a stop. The offense has shown they have the ability to move the football in their first drive. We got to get a stop here on the defensive side.
Vikings lead it 8-7 with 2:40 to go. Here's Roach. Fakes the give to Hill. He'll call his own number right up the middle, 45. Midfield, dragging Vikings down to the Viking 46-yard line. It's explosive. You got two very explosive quarterbacks playing here tonight.
Ty Stevens on the stop for the Vikings, coming back from the defensive end position. But, Brian, they found something there, and they have got us going the wrong way a couple times. The quarterback coming back and getting big yards. We got to shut that thing down.
Point Pleasant quickly to the line. Roach in the backfield. He'll hand it off. Running room down to the 40, still on his feet. Down near the 36-yard line. Parker Boyd in there on the stop. That was Brody Bowden.
And they're getting over 10 yards of carry in the last couple of plays, Brian. The Viking defense got to bow their necks and get some stops here as Point Pleasant just lining up and running the football. But there's a penalty flag on the play.
Holding on the...
They're going to bring it back. That's a break for the Vikings.
A couple of holding calls here in the early going.
We'll take it.
That'll make it 1st and 11. Back it up to the 47. Roach. Now with a man in motion, ball's on the turf. Roach scoops it up. He's in trouble, and he's going to be brought down back in his own territory at the 47-yard line. A lot of white hats and blue jerseys on that one, Jeff.
Yeah, was that K in there for the Vikings? A whole bunch of them back there, but wow, we needed that, Brian. A bad mishandled snap, and Vikings have them down in distance, 2nd and about 16.
So good opportunity here for the Vikings to get off the field. Roach rolling to his left, looking to throw. Caught at the 45, still on his feet at the 40, puts his head down to 35, and he stood up right at the line to gain, Jeff. Pretty good defense by, I think that might have been Virgil coming in there to slow him up right at the end.
And it is enough for the Black Knight first down, so once again, they make a big play when they have to, this time via the air, Brian, and yards after catch, very important on that toss.
Really nice catch by Rollins. And the ball's on the turf again, but a penalty flag flies, and it will be pre-snap variety.
Procedure, I believe, on the Black Knights.
And it is, as you said, that'll back them up. So they just can't seem to get out of their way on this drive, Jeff, as they continue to make big plays and then back themselves up with pre-snap penalties. So it'll be 1st and 15.
Vikings need a turnover here.
Always a good option. Here's the handoff right up the middle. It's still on his feet across the 35. Down near the 30, they'll mark him at the 31, so he got 10 of those back. That was Bowden again. Torres on the stop for the Vikings.
That's just old-fashioned football. Handed off to the fullback, run him up the middle. And Brian, initial contact was made, but he just kept spinning. So that's going to do it.
That'll do it for the first quarter. Vikings lead it 8-7. It'll be 2nd and 5 at the Viking 31 for Point Pleasant when we return. You're listening to Ripley Viking Football right here on C98 The Bull. Quarter action, Roach calls his own number left side, dragging Viking tacklers down to the 20. He'll have the first down. 2nd and 5, Chris Jenkins with the stop. Roach, he is a tough customer, 11-yard gainer.
Yeah, the senior quarterback has called his own number, and each time he has, Brian, he's made big yardage, so got to assign someone to that young man.
Into the red zone. Point Pleasant, Roach gives it left side. Power forward down to the 14-yard line. A gain of 6 by Bowen.
And Bowen, he's just a freshman, Brian, 5'8", 170, good-looking youngster back there in the backfield.
Jeff, he runs with conviction. He puts that foot in the ground and turns it north and south. And he's got a big enough body to punish defenders. 2nd down and 4 at the Viking 14. Roach in the gun, Bowen to his left. Roach calls his own number again. Still on his feet, down inside the 10, and he's going to be stacked up. It's Colin Moore in there on the stop. We'll mark him down at the 10. That'll be a gain of 4, and that should be enough for a first down.
Looks like they're trying to move the chains, but the officials are saying 3rd down.
They're going to mark it about a half a football shy. So Colin Moore Jeff, he's averaging nearly 16 tackles a game coming in tonight. He is all over the field every night for the Vikings, and a penalty flag is whistled, and you got to believe it's a pre-snap penalty.
I think it might be all sides on the Vikings. Wow.
So the Vikings on 3rd and very short give him a free first down.
Yeah, Moore's like a Tasmanian devil out there. He's all over that field, a whirling dervish. And he has a nose for the football, that's for sure.
So that'll move the football down to about the 5.5-yard line. 10-20, clock turning. 8-7, the Vikings lead it. Point Pleasant threatening. Roach in the gun, calls his own number right side. Now turns it right in the middle of that Viking defense and plows forward for the Point Pleasant touchdown. He just got in behind that big old body, number 74 for Point Pleasant. That's Colton Weaver, and he led him right into the end zone.
You could put a billboard on that guy's back. He is huge, man.
He is a big
6'4",
boy.
290. And quick.
So Schrader will kick the extra point. Snap back, placement down, kick is up, and it is good. Schrader, arguably the best kicker we have seen this season.
Yeah, I don't know who his coach is, but whoever it is, he does a pretty good job. Must be natural talent.
Yeah, the guy teaching him doesn't know anything about it. 10:07 to go.
Would that guy's name be Mark
14-8.
Johnson?
The godfather of place kicking here at Ripley High School.
Yeah, I remember when he was a little guy up in Mountaineer Field against Martinsburg.
He still is a wee little guy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was the night.
He hasn't done like the rest of us.
No, bless his heart. Well, we got a minute. Happy birthday, Tom White, my brother-in-law. He was also recognized here tonight by one of the student athletes as a teacher who has made an impact. So congratulations, Tom, and happy birthday. Also, I'd like to get well to I hate to say it this way, Viking Hall of Famer, little brother.
Yeah, you got it.
Ron Waybright recovering from eye surgery. Got a good report today, I hear, and may not have to sleep on his stomach for another week or two. So that's good news.
Get well, Mr. Waybright. We miss seeing you, my friend. Schrader kicks it off. Angling to the right. Fielded by Lawrence at the 10. Turns it upfield at the 20, 25. Squirts out of the backside of it at the 30 and takes an absolute shot at the 32-yard line. Good return there by Cody Lawrence. 22 on the return.
The old kidneys will remember that one in the morning. But, Brian, what I like about Lawrence is he took on a kick cover man who was flying down, took the shot, shrugged him off, continued to go forward, took another hit, spun around and was hit from the back. And that's what it took to bring him down. So good effort there by Lawrence.
Jason Hughes on the stop. Myers in the pistol. He's got Lawrence, I believe, behind him. Three receivers, actually, to the near side. Vikings moving right to left. Jenkins, a single receiver at the top of the formation. Football on the right hash, and the Vikings get a delay of game.
You know, we go to that look-to-me formation, Brian, out there, and the coaching staff is trying to see what kind of defense Point Pleasant is and call a play according. Sometimes you run the clock down and end up getting a penalty like that, something we do not need on the offensive side. Let's see if we can make a big play after it.
So formation change, personnel in, personnel off. 10:01 to go, first half, 14-8. Point Pleasant leads it. Myers gives it to Brown, right side, bounces off the initial contact, bowls forward out to the 28, a gain of a couple on 1st and 15.
Brown running hard, not a whole lot there as the Black Knight defense shut that down quickly. He does keep running hard and pick up a yard or two, so 2nd and 13.
Ball to 28. Plenty of time on the play clock. 18 seconds and counting. The Vikings are going to have to burn another timeout. A lot of confusion down there, and the Viking faithful getting restless here with 9:28 to go in the first half, and they have to burn another timeout.
Yeah, you know, we were able to move the football, Brian, in that first series. We didn't seem to have these communication problems on that drive, and by getting to the line and getting the plays off and a little bit of magic on some busted plays, we were able to get in the end zone. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit here on this drive.
Yeah, Jeff, you have to be able to feel pretty confident right now if you're Virgil Myers and that Viking offense. Even offensive coordinator Ryan Simon, who was inducted into the Viking Football Hall of Fame tonight, congratulations to him. He has to feel confident in what he's calling. When you've got a playmaker like 14 in the backfield, when things break down, he can still make something happen with his feet. So back out of the timeout, Virgil, 3 receivers to his left, single receiver to his right, hands it off. Hunter Brown turns it upfield, and he'll knife his way forward out across the 30, out to the 31, another gain of 3 yards to bring up 3rd and long.
That's tough with the speed that Point Pleasant has on the defensive side. Brown got to the hole, but it closed quickly. So 3rd and long, 10 yards to go here for the Vikings.
Hatton on the stop. Myers changing the play now. 3 receivers to his right, single receiver to his left. Rolling right, looking to throw. Outside the pocket, throws, caught. Boyd, first down Vikings. Parker Boyd, tough catch in traffic out about the 43-yard line. Gain of 12 on 3rd and 10.
And that's been Virgil's go-to. It was last week against Shady Spring. Boyd had a big game, made some big catches, stretching the field a little bit. So let's see what happens.
So big 3rd down conversion there for the Vikings. That something Coach Sayre would admit they've struggled at all season long. Been a little better here over the last couple of weeks. Myers calls his own number, bounces off one tackler across the 45, and just slithers his way out to the 47, Jeff. He got 4 yards, and it didn't look like there were 4 yards to be had.
Yeah, the shiftiness of Virgil Myers that time enabled him to shake off a couple tacklers and move the ball forward. 2nd and 6 for the Vikings. They trail, they trail 14-8 here with 7:59 to go in the 2nd quarter of play.
Change the play. 15 seconds, clock turning on the play clock. 14-8, Point Pleasant leads it. 7:50 to go in the first half. Myers looking for room right side. Makes one man miss, cuts it back in at the 50. Showing some toughness, Jeff. Not an easy run for him. Tough sledding in there, and he somehow picks up 4 more.
Yeah, and I kind of hold my breath every time he does that. You know, he plays on both sides of the ball. He punts, he returns kicks. What a utility guy. That's also your quarterback. So tough.
Sells popcorn at halftime.
Good. We'll have him deliver.
He does it all. 3rd and 2. Vikings will take their time. 10 seconds on the play clock. In the gun. 3 receivers to his left. Single receiver to his right. D'Amico shifts to his left. Myers rolling left, looking to throw. In the flat, caught Hunter Brown. He's got to make a man miss, and he can't do it. He's going to be about a half yard short. Pretty good defense there by quarterback Roach, making that stop defensively.
Yeah, they made positive yards, but as you said, Roach was right there, and as Brown tried to turn the ball upfield, he laid a pretty good lick on him, wrapped him up, and kept him short. So 4th and 1, they say, not quite really behind less than a yard, but big play here for the Viking offense.
Vikings will go for it. 4th and 1 at the 48. Myers under center. Calls his own number, and he's got it. He just was searching for the soft spot in that defense to his left. He got it. He took a shot, Jeff, but got himself down to the 44, and that may have been a touchdown-saving tackle right there because Virgil breaks that first contact. It's off to the races.
They had the line of scrimmage stacked, and he found an opening, as you said, but boy, what a hit to finish off that run. Virgil gets up a little slow, but he gets back to the backfield and looking for a play to call.
Really like what I see out of this Viking offense here tonight as they just continue to answer the bell. Myers, right side, he'll pick up a yard. Several Point Pleasant players there.
Yeah, and a steady dose of Myers and his fellow offensive linemen pull him up, get him set. He's got to be fatigued, Brian. He's played every play basically so far in this first half.
5:23 to go here in the first half. 14-8. Vikings trail. 2nd down and 9. Myers looking to throw. Slant pattern caught by Jenkins. Down across the 40 and down to the 38. Gain of 5. Well executed.
Yeah, and Brian, you would just love to see the Vikings methodically move this ball down the field. This is a big play right here on 3rd down and 4. 4:55, man, it would be great if we could move it down and score right before the half ended.
Feels like probably 4 down territory at this point, Jeff. So maybe you have a play to burn here. Myers in the pistol. D'Amico shifts out of it. Drops back. Time to throw. Steps up in the pocket, and he is going to be brought down.
No, he threw it.
He pitches it. I thought his momentum was stopped. I thought the whistle blew. Wow. What a play by Virgil Myers.
Found Parker Boyd out there. And
that's going to be enough for a first down. And if I'm Point Pleasant, I'm arguing forward momentum was stopped.
Without a doubt.
However,
I didn't hear a whistle.
It just tells you the strength of Virgil to be able to stay on his feet, Jeff. He had Wes Baker, a 5'11", 225-pound senior, hanging on his waist, and he's able to get that football out of there to Parker Boyd for the first down.
And if he was about 6 inches taller and 45 pounds heavier, it would remind you of a guy that wore number 9, I think, up at WVU by the name of Harris.
He's something else. Here's the handoff. Hunter Brown, left side. He's got good yardage down inside the 30, down to the 28.
And you can see the big black defenders, they're getting a little fatigued out there. They've been on the field a long time, Brian. The first drive for the Vikings was a good drive. This one's also a very good drive.
Roberts on the stop for Point Pleasant. 2nd down and 4 at the 28. They'll go to the full house 2 tight end look. Brown gets it again, trying to bounce it right side. Tough to do against Point Pleasant as they get him right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the Viking senior that time tried to get more than was there that time. If he stays behind those two blockers and just pounds forward, he probably picks up positive yardage and puts us in a little better position on third down, but still good, 3rd and 4. He's just trying to make a play.
Andrew Schoon on the stop. 2:57, clock turning, 3rd and 4. Myers under center, pitches to D'Amico, near side, cuts it in, and they were ready. Jeff Roach had some film study on that one. He was ready for that when he made 8 and cut it back in, and that's about a 3 or 4 yard loss back to the 32.
Yeah, that's the thing that you get. I mean, you got that speed and quickness, but you don't have the bulk, and if they get there, it's usually brought down where they make contact. He's got to get out in space, and that time he just wasn't able to.
So now it's 4th and 8 at the Point Pleasant 32-yard line with 2:20 clock turning here in the first half. Myers, 2 receivers either side, 5 seconds on the play clock. Brown in the backfield, snap back, time to throw, steps up in the pocket, he can run with it, 30, and he's going to be stopped shy of the yard to gain at the
referee.
So a gain of 5. Gain of 5 on 4th and 8, so a promising drive comes up empty for the Vikings, and now, Jeff, with 2 minutes remaining, they have to play defense and keep Point Pleasant out of the end zone.
Yeah, they cannot let the Big Black score here with 2 minutes to go in this half, already trailing 14-8.
Roach in the gun. Here's the Hill with it, up underneath the handoff inside, and he'll pick up yardage out to the 34.
Little counter play back inside. Vikings were there, but man, they just keep driving forward. They got some leg drive in those running backs.
Virgil on the stop. Roach, handoff again. It's Bowen this time. Out across the 40, out to the 41.
Freshman Bowen.
Point Pleasant will take a timeout. Let's go down to the sideline. Hall's Tires sideline report. Phil, this is a big defensive possession here for the Vikings.
Yeah, honestly, I can't think of an important defensive stand than what this Ripley Viking defense needs to do right now. Ball first, second half, and in there with this 8 to 14 deficit, I think we may be able to get it back or stay with them. For the best in tires advice and service, visit the experts at Hall's Tires on Cedar Lakes Drive in Fairplain, serving Jackson County since 1977.
All right, Phil, thank you.
Another timeout called by Point Pleasant.
Roach carries it for almost 10 more out to the midfield stripe. Thought they called timeout previously, Jeff, but they did not. They call one here.
Brian, this is a big defensive stand for the Vikings. 1:07 to go here in the first half. They trail 14-8. Point Pleasant has the ball at the midfield stripe, and you know, we got to be careful. Play action pass. You got to make sure you stay with those receivers. Don't let them get behind you and make a big play here with under a minute or so to go in this game.
A couple of special guests coming up at the halftime break. The Viking head basketball coaches will join us, John Kennedy and Derek Mullins, as they, Jeff, I think are about 2 weeks out from practice beginning. So I'm sure they're excited for Viking hoops.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I love it. Both the boys and the girls program at Ripley High School have had some success. Got a lot of players back this year, so high expectations. Let's put some pressure on these coaches.
Roach going to throw, and he's stopped in the backfield. Noah Casto introduces himself back at the 44-yard line, and another Point Pleasant timeout. Big play on 2nd and 1.
The defense was good as far as the coverage. The rush was there. Casto gets to the quarterback, and usually when he gets there, he gets a hand on him. He either brings him down or hangs on long enough for the posse to get there, Brian. But a big play by Noah Casto.
3rd down and 8 now, and that was a huge play, Jeff, for this Viking defense after they have to burn another timeout. Now down to their final timeout, 57.7 to go here in the first half, and Vikings hanging in there, 14-8 against a scrappy bunch from Point Pleasant who really, really need the win tonight.
They sure do, and we talked about it pregame. I mean, they got to get this one and the next one against a really good Winfield team to probably make the playoffs. So the Vikings giving them everything they want here tonight. As you said earlier, Brian, all the pressure on Point Pleasant. The Vikings playing free here tonight.
3rd down and 8 from their own 44. Roach sends Hill in motion. Counterplay again. Inside, running room down across midfield. Still on his feet at the 45.
Ooh.
Stretches out to the 40, and he was a step from taking that one to the house, Jeff. Vikings dodge a bullet. That was Hughes on the carry.
He almost stepped out of the tackle and was on his way.
Quickly to the line. Point Pleasant, clock turning, 42 seconds. Roach in the gun, calls his own number, left side. Gets in there behind that big offensive line, and he'll carry it down to the 33, and they'll have to burn another timeout. 31.9 to go, no timeouts remaining. That will be a gain of 7. Host of Vikings in there on the stop.
Here we go, Brian. 31.9 seconds. If they run plays that can stop the clock, there's plenty of time there. So the Viking defense has really got to step up, get these stopped.
Good news is, Jeff, they're out of timeouts. I think
that does help.
Is a key for a team that's only put the ball in the air one time here.
We talked about that
in the first half.
That Winfield team, Brian. They lead Scott, number 1 in AA. They lead them 13-0 in the second quarter.
Eddie Smolder's got him playing good down there. Roach is going to throw, wheel route, near side. Virgil with a great play, keeping him in bounds.
That was the key, keeping him in bounds. They're going to call timeout to move the chains. So we got to get back on the defensive side as Point Pleasant hustles up. Now the clock's rolling.
22 seconds. That was Hughes on the catch. And they'll clock it as Roach will spike it. Football line of scrimmage is the 26-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Great play by Virgil. He Jeff, did not allow Hughes to get out of bounds, which forced them to burn it down by spiking it. Now, granted, they've got a kicker who can connect from here. So it's important for the Vikings to make sure they don't get beat downfield.
How big a weapon's that, partner, when you got somebody that can bust it through from 40?
Roach rolling left, looking to throw, has time. Throws it to the far pylon, double team there. Virgil intercepts it at the 2-yard line. Virgil Myers, pass intended for Hughes. He was bracketed that time. Virgil had coverage over top. Jeff, he high-pointed that football. As an old receiver, you like to see that.
Oh, yeah, you got to go there and battle for the ball as Roach just threw it up there, Brian, hoping for a miracle. And the Viking defense, Virgil Myers with the INT. And we're going to get out of here trailing by 6. It looks like 14-8. As all we'll probably do is just kneel on this ball, not take any chances back there at our 1-yard line.
Virgil leads the Vikings in interceptions, and not a bigger one there, Jeff, to come up with that play. And, I mean, what has he not done for this team down the stretch? This young man has been unbelievable on both sides of the football.
He's an athlete, partner. We've seen it on the basketball court. He can come off the bench, get you some stops defensively, steal the basketball, knock down a 3. I mean, something's going to happen when he gets out there. You don't know what it might be, but definitely something. But he's just so athletic, and he shows it on that play as he's going to get the Vikings back into the locker room
Vikings
with only a 6-point deficit.
Burn their final timeout, I think, here at the 1-yard line. In the shadow of your own goalpost, Jeff, you just put Virgil under center and let him plow forward. They have no timeouts.
He's going to look for a gap.
He is under center. Vikings jump early, so it will be about a half-yard penalty. The young freshman, one that they're very excited about, Carter Neal, will be whistled for that penalty.
Winfield now extends the lead to 19-0 over Scott at the half. Roane County playing Ravenswood. We know all about Roan. It's in the second quarter. They lead 36-0.
Virgil, he'll keep it. Yeah, that's what he'll do. He finds a soft spot on that defense on the left side of that Viking offensive line. He dives out to the 3-yard line, a gain of 2, and that'll do it here for the first half at Memorial Stadium. The Vikings hanging in there with a good Point Pleasant team. 14-8 they trail. We'll return to Johnson Insurance Agency halftime report after this, right here on C98 The Bull. One brewing here at Memorial Stadium, 14-8. The Vikings trail to the Point Pleasant Black Knights, and it's a pretty evenly fought affair, Jeff, as both teams have done a nice job moving the football. And coming into it, you thought we had to have some breaks. We maybe had to get a turnover. We maybe had to make a big play on special teams. Well, we've done one of the two. We got a turnover there, and that may have been game-saving for the Vikings. You say, well, you know, maybe it's too early to say that, but a 2-score lead for them at the break would have felt a lot bigger than maybe it really was in the fashion that they were moving up and down the field there at the end of the first half. Virgil, well, I mean, what can you say? He made a great catch and just an instinctual play out of his free safety position.
Yeah, you teach that, but you don't necessarily expect it to be picture perfect like it was on that interception. You called it, Brian. He came around without interfering, going through the receiver, was able to get up in the air, high point that ball and take it away and save the possible touchdown by the Big Blacks. So great job there. We controlled the ball for a lot of minutes. I don't know exactly how many in the first half, Brian, but that kept that potent Point Pleasant offense off the field and kind of wore down their defense a little bit. So great job thus far in the first half. Probably most people around the state weren't expecting this score to be this close at the half, but our kids have played very, very good here in the first half and given great effort.
2-minute advantage you talk about on the time of possession for the Vikings in their favor here in that first half. Third down's big, 3 of 5 for the Vikings on third down. Point Pleasant, 3 of 4. So 6 of 9 for these two teams combined on third down. That's getting it done offensively.
Sure is, and I can't say enough. And the Vikings will get the ball, I believe, to start the second half. So I'm sure they're in there in that locker room right now, strategizing to what they want to do. Maybe they've got some tricks up their sleeve that they haven't tried thus far this year. We've played it pretty close to the vest as far as running the ball. Virgil has gotten in the pocket and made some good passes, has made some good receptions out there with Boyd and Hunter Brown. And we have mixed it up a little bit, but for the most part, we've kept it on the ground and run that clock.
92 yards on the ground for Virgil in that first half. 5 of 5 through the air for Virgil. Do you put it in the air a little more here in the second half with him being as consistent as he has been?
I think it's down in situation, Brian. I think we'll try to, make decent yardage on first and second down and try to get us in a position of third and short, manageable for sure, and then make a decision whether to go for it on fourth down, depending on where we're at on the field.
All right, Jeff, we'll step out when we return. We got a couple of guys standing behind me. They're going to get really sick of seeing me here in a couple of months. I'm going to be interviewing them nonstop, Viking basketball coaches, when we come back to preview Viking basketball. You're listening to the Johnson Insurance Agency Halftime Report right here on C98, The Bull. The Vikings trail the Point Pleasant Black Knights 14-8. Here at the break, it says there's 12 minutes on the clock, Jeff, but we know better than that. They're going to put 3 or 4 more minutes on there. You say 3, I say 4. Regardless, we got 2 of the best-looking guys in the entire stadium standing up here with us right now, John Kennedy and Derek Mullins. Guys, welcome to the broadcast.
I appreciate you, but I know you're full of it. You want to call me one of the prettiest guys in this thing up here.
Maybe I said windiest. Maybe that's what it was.
That's Coach Kennedy for sure.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Guys, man, it's upon us. Coach Kennedy, we'll start with you. You start week after next. Is that right? The 7th? You
Yes,
guys
sir.
will begin practice. Tell me about your team. You're returning a lot of scoring and a lot of your starters' minutes from last year.
Yeah, we've got 4 returning starters coming back, and losing Key always hurts. But we've got a couple other girls that have stepped in and filled her role nicely, and the pressure's on us.
Yeah.
We finished up in Fall League 12-0 and beat Logan, St. Albans, South Charleston, Winfield, Nitro, a bunch of quality teams, and Bullseye's even bigger this year than it was last year on us.
You had a young lady that's really worked her tail off in the offseason, Sophie Nichols. Sophie Nichols has really, really worked hard in the offseason. Jeff worked with her a little bit. She's in there working out every morning. That's what it takes, man. That's what it takes. And when your top players start working out and practicing like that, it spills over.
It sure does. Sophie's a workaholic. She's in that gym 6 days out of the week. And because of that, it's trickled over to a lot of other girls. Mac, she's been in there the past couple of years, getting shots up. And then it's trickled down to, Aaron Ryan's been in there. Morgan Shanklin's been in there. Abby Eastman, who's going to be a big plus for us this year. She's got a motor on her. A lot of people don't know haven't seen her play, but we were fortunate to have her in a 3-week period in this fall, and there's going to be good things. Good things are going to come to her, and Liv Greathouse has put in a lot of work here this fall. She's improved her game, so it's going to be fun and exciting for us this year.
Another team, Jeff, that has returned a lot of talent. That's the boys' side, Coach Derek Mullins. Coach, I know you got to be excited about what's coming back for you. You guys had a great fall as well.
Yeah, we've had a really good fall so far. Had good numbers all the way through the fall season so far. Still have 3 games. We have 2 games up in Parkersburg South. Get to run it up this upcoming weekend, so we'll see what we're made of with Parkersburg South. And then we have 2 more games at Sissonville. But we've been having really good numbers. Kids have been working hard. Couldn't ask for much more.
I want to go back to Coach Kennedy for just a second. As Brian said, I had an opportunity to work with these girls. These girls really like each other. I mean, it's hard when you get them together to keep them focused sometimes because, they have fun. You talked about Sophie. Sophie was shooting the eyes out of it when I left her. I hope you don't ruin it, Coach. Really,
no pressure.
Mac, we worked on her shot all summer long. She was struggling pretty good. And you're going to get maximum effort with those girls. Shanklin, I don't know what to say about her. I really like that young lady. She knows her role. She plays her role. She doesn't try to do things she's not capable of doing. Sometimes I wish she'd shoot it a little more from about 8 feet. And then the addition of Abby, it's great. I enjoyed it. I love them. I can't wait to watch them play. I'm tickled to death. And now back to Coach Mullins. Your kids have had a great summer. Your kids have been in the gym. We've had some kids that have solely concentrated on basketball this year, and I think that's going to bring great results.
Oh, every bit of it. That's something we really got onto them this offseason was really getting shots up. One of our MOs was we couldn't shoot the ball. We had guys that could get it inside, but once you have 5 or 6 guys in the paint, it's really hard to get the ball in the paint. So that was one of the things we really need to work on was getting a lot of shots up, and it's paid off for a lot of our guys. We're starting to shoot the ball a lot better from the mid-range, the 3-point level, and it's just going to open up the paint so much more for our big guys.
You got those Casto boys. You got Johnson inside. You got Anderson inside. You can go inside and out, apply pressure. Got some athletes out there. I know I'm leaving out another good scorer.
Kate Good.
That's it.
Kate Good, obviously.
Started since he was a freshman,
Yeah.
a player. So, man, your first 5 is strong.
Yeah, we got really good depth. I think we will be able to play 8 or 9 and just really get up in them and really try to pressure them, really wear teams down with the guard position, and then we'll have another couple of big guys be able to run in and out with our with Luke and Brady. So
and get Virgil in basketball shape.
Yeah, every bit of it. You see what he can do on the football field. He can do the same thing on the basketball court as well.
Coach Kennedy, have you mellowed any in your older age? I'm curious. I know you sometimes get a little excited down there on the sidelines, which I enjoy a lot when we get to do your games. Have you mellowed any coming into the season this year?
Well, we'll just let Coach Mullins answer that for everybody that's out there listening, because when I started my career, I had this young man in 7th grade and started him as my point guard as a 7th grader. So I'll just let Coach Mullins speak to everybody that's listening, and he can answer that question.
No, he'll give me it'll be a politically correct answer, and I don't want to hear that. I want to hear the truth.
Go ahead then, Coach Kennedy, let him know.
All right, so many years ago when Coach was my point guard, we lost to Winfield. The very next day in practice, we never touched the ball. We were in the cafeteria, and it was like a military workout. It was sprints, it was push-ups, it was crunches. I mean, I called them squat thrusts. Now they're called burpees. That shows you how old I am. Coach Mullins is calling them burpees.
Yeah, they were squat thrusts when I was a kid too.
Yeah, but I've settled down a little bit. But when it comes to effort, that fires me up when you're not giving effort out there on the court. And if people don't like it, they can get over it. That's the main thing that I'm looking for.
I know both of you guys pretty well, and I know both of you have always preached to your teams. One thing you can control, or two things you can control: attitude and effort. And I think that's what I'm like you. I would be losing it on the sidelines. Coach Mullins here, he's more stoic, more laid back, doesn't get too upset outwardly like you and I would. But guys, that's the one thing I think both of your teams are going to give you this year: effort and attitude. The rest of that stuff falls into place when those two things happen.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Coach Mullins and I are extremely fortunate to have the players that we do that have bought in the offseason, and it's going to be a heck of a year for both of us. Coach and I are both fired up and excited to get season rolling. And the fans are, our community's excited about it, and there's just a lot of buzz around both boys and girls here at Ripley High School this year.
Well, the one thing that I tried when I had them in the gym some this summer is not only work on their drills, but when we were resting, we were trying to teach them game situations. One of the things that Coach Kennedy, you have, is not so much depth. Your girls are going to have to play a lot of minutes. And teaching them how to rest when the ball's dead, at the foul line, those things. Don't exert energy you don't have to exert. Get your wind back in you. When there's timeouts, those type of things. So we worked on those things, so hopefully that'll pay off a little bit. And the other thing that we stress that most people don't is defense. Everybody wants to shoot it, but you got to guard it. And we know that you guys, both teams, your defense becomes your offense in a lot of games. And y'all better kick the guts out of Winfield and Nitro this year. Okay, that's all I want to see. All right.
There's some history there, Coach Mullins. Your team is going to have a lot of interchangeable parts. You watch kids down here playing football right now, like Virgil, like Parker. I think Parker Boyd could be a kid that could sneak in there and give you some good minutes. You got size in all the right places. You got athleticism in all the right places. Jeff alluded to it. You're going to be deep. I think the question is going to be, how do we get everybody on the floor? You're only allowed 5 at a time, so I think that'll be a challenge for you because you are going to be deep.
Well, with you saying that, I think we'll just speed them up. I think if you can press, especially with our guard situation, get a couple of our starting guards out, let these other guys, backup guys, come in and play 4 or 5 minutes sparingly, and then get the other guys back in. It'll get you 7 or 8 guys deep, and then by the time the fourth quarter rolls around, you get the other team kind of dead and legged, and next thing you know, we're ready to go, making our free throws, hopefully.
Doesn't hurt to have a 7-footer in Luke Johnson down there on the block and a tank, and Brady Anderson down there as well. Those two kids can clean up. I mean, I said it several times. Sometimes a missed shot is your best offense.
That's what I told our guys a couple games ago. Said we as many turnovers as we had last year. I think we were averaging 13 or 14. If we could get below 10 and just shoot more shots and have the two big guys just go crash the boards, I mean, the likelihood of them getting the ball is at least 50-60%. So that's just another shot opportunity for us.
I know both of you have high expectations for this year, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think both of these teams have an opportunity to go to the Civic Center. Do you want me to shut up, or do you want me to continue that narrative? I think both of you have a legitimate shot of playing in Charleston in March.
Absolutely. The one thing that we've got to take care of on our end is we've got to stay healthy. We can't have anybody coming down with injuries, come rolling into postseason play. We've got to have everybody healthy, with all our wheels underneath of us. And with that, our goal, and I've told our girls there before we started this fall and even the 3-week period, our goal is state tournament this year. And if we don't make it there, then all of us are going to be extremely disappointed. So that's what we're shooting for.
And I agree with Coach Kennedy on that. I think that's been our ultimate goal ever since last season ended, is when we're coming in the summer, working and pushing forward to get into the state tournament. The biggest thing with us is just chemistry, staying together as a group. And we did a bunch of team bonding stuff this past summer and plus into the fall. That's really helped with our kids and kind of growing as a group. Because if you're not as a group and you're just 1 or 2 players, you can't really go very far as a team. So if we're as a team, I think we can go a good ways if we stick together.
Guys, thanks for coming up. Enjoyed it as always. And I look forward to, a month and a half from now when I'm aggravating you all throughout the week to get interviews and asking you all those tough questions. I appreciate you guys taking the time, as always.
Yep. Thank you.
Anytime. I appreciate what you guys do in C98 and all you guys do. I truly appreciate it. It means a lot to me and the girls and the boys and everybody out there listening.
Thank you, John.
Thank you guys.
Two best-looking guys now leaving the broadcast booth.
Where are we going?
Jeff. Always a pleasure to spend some time with those guys, and we look forward to Viking basketball coming up real soon. Jeff will step out as they put more time on the clock here at the Johnson Insurance Agency Halftime Report. More Viking football after this on C98, The Bull.
To start the second half of play. And Brian, great opportunity to get out of the gates here and possibly get a score. Tie this thing up, go ahead with the 2-point conversion would be great.
Jeff, is it fair to say both of those basketball teams can make it? I think they both can. I don't know if it's me being a little biased.
The fall league that they play in is very competitive. Now, granted, on the boys' side, a lot of these kids are playing football and they're not playing in the fall league, but that doesn't matter. Our kids don't care who we're playing. Head coach Randy Anderson down in Boyd County, Kentucky, played our kids this year, and Randy's got a really good squad coming back. And he said to me what Coach Mullen said. He said if they could have hit shots from the outside, they'd have got us. It was, I think, a 1-point game anyway. He said because they're so strong inside, but as Coach Mullins has said, our kids have worked hard on that. We've stepped up the outside shooting, and it's shown in fall ball. So, looking forward to good things happening there. If we can have that two-headed monster inside and out, we could be dangerous because, Coach Mullins is going to have a team that comes out and guards you and plays harder. You're going to be sitting beside him. Same way with Coach Kennedy.
Nobody has an answer for the 7-footer.
Nope.
In Luke Johnson and the tank and Brady Anderson.
Nope.
I mean, he is just an absolute. If those kids stay out of foul trouble and stay healthy,
yep,
it's going to be. And Dylan Casto has worked his tail off. He has shot phenomenally in this fall ball. You got Kate Good, as you talked about, who can score at all three levels.
I apologize, Kate. I could see your face. I couldn't think of your name.
You got Isaiah, who is just unbelievably athletic, and he has really improved in the offseason, taking care of the basketball, making the right decision. He's knocking down some shots. You got Virgil. You got Parker. I know I'm leaving somebody out, but, man, there's some depth there. Really looking forward to that.
And the girls complement each other. They have just got to, as Coach Kennedy said, stay healthy and, finish a game. They had Winfield down bad, and because of fatigue, were able to let them back in the game last year. So we'll see what happens.
Schrader's kickoff at the 4, fielded by Jenkins. Running room. He's into the open. 45 midfield. Down to the 40, and looked like a face mask maybe gotten away with there by Point Pleasant. But what a return from Jenkins. all the way into Point Pleasant territory at the 38.
If Jordan Elliott hadn't ran him down, he's in the end zone. But a great burst up the middle by Jenkins as he brings the ball across the midfield stripe inside the 40-yard line at the 38-yard line is where the nose of the ball will be. And the Vikings are in great field position to start the second half.
58-yard return, maybe. There's the special teams play we needed, Jeff. Hunter Brown gets the call. Up the middle, across the 35. Bowling down to the 32, gain of 6.
And I like the way the Vikings started out the second half with the run play with Hunter Brown, Brian. And we talked about Hunter, how hard he runs up in there. And he followed his blockers and got every yard he could get out of that.
Schoon on the stop. Myers in the gun. Pistol, rather. He's got Brown behind him. 2 receivers either side. Play clock at 18. They'll change the play as Brown will shift to Myers' left. Give is to Brown again. And, Jeff, he just patiently waits for that hole to open up, and he picks up a couple of yards, really, that maybe weren't even there to begin with.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of running room, but you said it, Brian. He just tucked himself in behind some of those horses over there on that right side and got everything he could get out of that. And going to put him in third down and manageable here with 2 to go.
Same formation. Myers hands off to Brown, right up the middle.
Nothing there.
Nice play by, I believe that's Bowen, excuse me. Knifing in there to make the stop.
And that's going to leave fourth down and a little over a yard. The nose of the football on the 30-yard line, Brian. So big play here for the Vikings as Virgil comes into the huddle.
And that was Jake Roberts on the play, rather. Football at the 30, moving right to left. They'll go for it. 4th and 2. Myers under center. Hands it off to Brown. Vikings maybe got just enough, Jeff. It looks like Virgil giving the first down signal. They'll mark him at the 28, and I think by the skin of their teeth, the Vikings are going to have it.
Second effort of that time by Brown as he was met at the line of scrimmage. He bounced to his right and just kept those knees pumping, Brian, and gets the first down. So big play, number 1 after the great special teams play. Good play by the offense getting that first down.
How tough is Hunter Brown? He's been banged up the whole second half of the season. He just churns out tough yard after tough yard. And a Vikings don't have to take a timeout. 9:41 to go here in the third period. Let's go down to the sideline, the Hall's Tires sideline report. Phil, pretty good start to the drive here for the Vikings.
You can't ask for a much better start than what we've got coming out of halftime here. Exactly the special team spark that we needed. I'll tell you what, we've had some special teams. One of the things I this season is some of the great kickoff returns, the good run backs. I think 2022 season. BF Goodrich tires are built for drivers looking for high performance and aggressive styling. Next time you need tires, see the tire experts at Hall's Tires on Cedar Lakes Drive in Fairplain, 372-3799.
All right, Phil, thank you. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the Point Pleasant 28-yard line. Myers in the gun. Handoff to Brown again, not a clean handoff, and he took a shot. I think that was Schoon at the 26-yard line, maybe a gain of 2, and they were fortunate to hang on to that football.
Yeah, it was a little quirky back there, wasn't a partner, but Brown did bring the ball in and lowered his shoulder and got what he could get. 2, almost 3 yards on that carry, more than it looked like at the onset.
Myers and a pre-snap penalty, and I think that's going to be procedure on the Vikings.
Drive killers, man. We talk about it all year long. It's those kind of mistakes that get you in down and distances that we're not real comfortable about. So, miscue there brings them behind the chains and a little tougher sledding.
From 2nd and 7 to 2nd and 13, back at the 31. Myers Looking at his play sheet on his left arm. 2 receivers either side. Snap back, looking to throw. Slant pattern. Picked off. That's picked off at the 30-yard line, and it's going to be a possible touchdown. It's Roach, 25-20. He's got Myers to beat, and Virgil, great effort, brings Roach down at the 10-yard line, and Roach read that one beautifully.
Just went to the well. One time too many. They, as you said, Roach played that perfectly. Kind of set it up. He stayed back. He just read Virgil's eyes to see where he was going to go with the ball. And when he threw it out there, and that's a long pass to make out to that sideline, he just stepped in front and brings the ball back inside the 10-yard line at the 9, where the Big Blacks will have it first and goal.
61-yard return on the interception. So both teams now with an interception, and offsides on the Vikings in the neutral zone.
It's just lining up, Brian. Nothing there. We didn't jump. We just lined up that way. The play started. We lined up off sides, 5 yards.
That'll move him inside the 5 to the 4. So it'll be first and goal at the 4 with 8:38 to go here in the third period. Viking defense has to dig deep. Here's Roach. Gives to Bowen, and he has the ball taken away from him. Noah Casto somehow strips the ball away from Bowen at about the 3-yard line and brings it back out to the 10. Let me tell you something. Give me 11 Noah Castos on a Viking defense, and you got something to work with.
You know, it was so funny. As Bowen ran up in there, he kind of hesitated and almost came to a stop instead of really firing in there. And Casto just comes in there and takes it away. Great play.
That's his 7th fumble recovery of the season and maybe saved the game here tonight as Myers calls his own number, squirts out across the 15. A lot of yardage there when, Jeff, there really wasn't much running room.
No, Vikings trying to dig themselves out of this hole inside their own 20-yard line, backs to their own goal line.
So Myers now 2nd and 2. He looks like he's going to change the play. Football at the 18, a gain of 8 on first down. I like the philosophy. They're burning time, forcing Point Pleasant defense to stay down, and Virgil's going to drag the defender out across the 20, out to the 21. That'll be a Viking first down.
Looked almost like a busted play as the back got beyond Virgil, couldn't reach him with the handoff. So what do? You just follow the play, and that's exactly what he did. He follows it up in the hole, makes first down yardage, keep this drive going.
He has fantastic instincts. And you talk about a defensive play, Jeff, that maybe saved the game. It looked like they were walking into the end zone for a touchdown. All of a sudden, you see 2 in blue pop out of there with the football, giving this team some life. Hunter Brown gets the call, and he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Tough to run laterally on these guys. He'll lose 3.
And just about, you're right, Brian, just about every time we've done that tonight, we have not had very much success. We have much more success running right at these big guys up front, because when you get by them, then you get into the second level of those linebackers, and then you can make something happen. So down in distance, once again, not in favor of the Vikings.
2nd and 13, Myers looking to throw. Has time. He'll step up in the pocket, and he is going to be stopped. He looked like there was some room there. He'll get a couple of yards to the 20, but the running room closed down quickly for the pursuit of that Point Pleasant defense.
Point Pleasant in that man-to-man defense on the receivers, and the linebackers just spying Virgil now as they stayed home. Didn't give him any running lanes.
3rd and 11. Vikings 3 receivers to Virgil's right. Aiden D'Amico to his right. Single receiver Wyatt Simon to his left. Virgil rolling right, looking to throw. He has time, turns the corner. He's going to unleash one downfield, and looked like it was intercepted at the 47-yard line, and I believe it was, Jeff. They're going to say it was intercepted. It was close. He looked like maybe he was sliding out of bounds, but he's going to be credited with that interception.
Virgil slowed to get up on that far sideline. I was wondering how close to the line of scrimmage he was, but the officials were gathered back there. Let's see if there's a flag.
Is a flag, so this could be huge.
Could it be roughing? As the officials gather on the far sideline to discuss it, Point Pleasant's defense has walked back up to the line of scrimmage, and here comes the call.
Personal foul on Point Pleasant.
First down. It looks like a late hit over there. We didn't see it. We were looking downfield as the pass was delivered, but Virgil was slow to get up on the far side, so looks like that's where the penalty took place. So the Vikings will take it 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
So it was 3rd and 11. The pass was intercepted. And a personal foul, you got to believe it was roughing the passer. Wipes out the Jake Elliott interception. And that moves the Vikings up to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, 6:02 to go here in the third. 14-8 they trail. Virgil calls his own number again, bounces off the first contact, still on his feet. And Roach ready for him after a gain of a couple.
Quarterback to quarterback. And Roach wins that battle, but Virgil does pick up a yard or so on that carry coming out of that scramble. So 2nd and 8.
Roach, a good-looking player, Jeff. Strong kid. He's always in the right place at the right time. You can see why he's the quarterback.
5'9", 185. Got good size.
Plays bigger than that as well. Clock turning, 5:26 to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 8 for the Vikings. Myers 3 receivers to his left. He'll give it to D'Amico. D'Amico looking for some space. He gets it. Turns sideways at the 40 and squirts out to the 44-yard line.
He is as quick as a hiccup and just keeps leaning forward. Picks up almost enough. Going to be about a yard short. 3rd and 1 for the Vikings.
7 yards for Aiden D'Amico. Jeff, I'm just really impressed with the way this team has battled here tonight. They just continue to fight when things are not going their way. They just continue to make plays at important times like this one where you get 10 men in the box. Hunter Brown gets the call. They block it up front, and he picks up 4 yards for the first down out near midfield.
And Brian, when you line up as a running back and you look and you see all those guys in the box and you know where the ball's going, you just prepare yourself for contact, and Brown lowers that shoulder once again, gets the first down yardage. The Vikings keep moving the chains.
Hughes with what could have been a touchdown-saving tackle with that many men at the line of scrimmage. Myers looking to throw. He has time, throws it into triple coverage and nearly intercepted. As we have a collision down there, Roach and Boyd collide. Roach will be credited with the pass breakup.
Something you don't really like to see as a receiver is somebody else on your team in your area when that ball goes up, because you know there's going to be 3 or more defenders there also. And you're right, that was thrown into a lot of people down there.
Cardinal sin as a quarterback, don't throw it late over the middle. That's what happened there, and the Vikings dodge a bullet.
Not if you like your receivers on their feet.
Ball at their own 49. Myers calls his own number again. He's got the first down as he trips, falls, dives out to the Point Pleasant 47, a gain of 4 for Virgil Myers.
Vikings just trying to continue to move the chains. 3rd and 6 now, Brian, and probably, well, I don't know if it's two-play territory or not.
Myers looking to throw. He throws, it's intercepted. Looked like there was pass interference. It's Roach again, across midfield, down to the 45. Aiden D'Amico comes in out of there. It looks like
Was Parker Boyd
Looks
just
like
held
Parker
up?
Boyd was tackled as the ball was heading toward him. Pass intercepted, no penalties.
Wow, that's a tough one there because Virgil was throwing it where he thought Parker was going to be, and he was just not permitted to get there by the defender.
So another interception by Roach. He returns this one 17 yards. Aiden D'Amico probably saves the touchdown. And now Point Pleasant with it in Viking territory again. Inside handoff, nowhere to go. You had Noah Casto and Colin Moore in there on the stop.
And we talked about it before. Those two guys, they have a nose for the football. And Johnny on the spot there to bring the ball carrier down with only a 1 yard gain.
I believe that was Hill on the carry. So 2nd down and 9. Roach calls his own number again. Looks like he may have his knee have hit the ground, but play continues down inside the 35, down to the 34.
Still going to be short, just a little bit of the first yard marker. So 3rd and big for the Viking defense right here, Brian. Probably 4 down territory for Point Pleasant. They do have an outstanding place kicker. I don't know if he can hit from 50 or not.
3rd and about 2.5.
His coach says yes.
That would be a 52-yarder for those of you scoring at home. Roach, left side, 1st down. They just bowled down inside the 30, down to the 29. Gain of 6 on 3rd and 3.
You can tell who the leader is of this team. It's number 2 out there for Point Pleasant. Roach, he's all over the place, offensively and defensively, making plays.
Cody Lawrence with the stop.
Scott battling back against Winfield, 26-14 now in the 3rd period of play. They were down 19-0 at the half.
Point Pleasant in Viking territory at the 29. Roach, man in motion. Hill, they give it to him. Jet sweep, turns the corner, down across the 20, down to the 15, and he's brought down by Virgil, along with Jenkins in there.
And Brian, that was a big run, but I was looking at number 54 for Point Pleasant. That offensive lineman, Cole Miller, he's a guard. He's a junior, and he was leading that play. And, boy, he is an awesome pulling guard out there. Big guy that not a lot of defensive backs want to take on.
So the 1st down for Point Pleasant. Roach takes the snap. He'll call his own number again, left side, turns it upfield. He's got a path to the end zone, and he walks in. No flags. Touchdown, Point Pleasant. Vikings' path to an upset victory just got more difficult because of Evan Roach touchdown.
Sure did, Brian. The turnover on the interception, and Point Pleasant takes care of business. Usually we see it week in and week out. Turnovers lead to touchdowns, and that sure did happen there.
Schrader on to attempt the extra point. 20-8 the score. Snap back, placement down. Virgil nearly got there again, and Schrader bombs it through. 21-8. Point Pleasant leads it. We'll step out. More Viking football after this on C98, the Bowl. Schrader's kickoff sneaks into the left corner pylon to our right for the touchback. And the Vikings will take over at their own 20 with 1:23 remaining here in the third period, now trailing by 2 scores, 21-8.
And the time left here in the third period, 1:23, the Vikings have accomplished controlling the ball and running the clock. The turnover definitely hurts as Point Pleasant comes down and scores with the Viking offense back out there. We'll see if we can get it going, Brian.
Myers with it, handoff to Brown. He dives for him for a couple of yards.
And again, when that play started, Brian, it looked like the Viking offensive line had made a pretty good opening for Brown to run through. He gets there, and then it closes quickly with the speed of the Point Pleasant defense.
Schoon on the stop. 2nd and 8. Myers in the pistol. Brown behind him. Under a minute remaining here in the third. We'll change the play. 12 seconds on the play clock. Myers keeps it right side, looking for room. Cuts it up, and wow. He found a small seam, Jeff, and he popped through it to 25, and they'll mark him out to the 27, and he was really close to being off to the races.
Yeah, it gets exciting when he gets at that second level, Brian. Things really start to happen.
3rd down and 3. This is a big 3rd down for the Vikings. We'll see. They don't have to run a play. It looks like they will let the third quarter clock expire, Jeff, and talk about it here in a crucial 3rd and 3 at their own 27. We'll return 4th quarter. After this, the Vikings trail 21-8. Final quarter of the 2022 season after this on C98, The Bull. Left in the Vikings season, and they trail 21-8 here to Point Pleasant. Crucial 3rd and 3 at their own 27. Myers will come out under center, 2 tight ends, full house backfield, and it's going to be 3rd and 8. As Hunter Brown may have got caught moving in the backfield. Big penalty.
Yeah, it sure is, Brian. You get it down in distance to where, you know, it would be manageable, and now you put yourself in a completely different series of plays to call.
They'll spread it out. Myers in the gun, Brown to his left, 2 receivers either side. Play clock at 12. Snap back, Myers looking to throw. Will step up in the pocket, makes a man miss. A lot of running room, 30, 35. Cutting it near side, 40. Still on his feet, dragging a Point Pleasant tackler out to the 44, maybe a horse collar tackle not called, Jeff.
Needed one of those tearaway jerseys.
22-yard gain. Earl Campbell
Yeah.
would have pulled out of that one.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen games where he's played, looked like all he had was a T-shirt and a pair of pads on. The jersey was ripped completely off of him.
Reese Hunter on the stop. Or Reese Hunt, excuse me.
You're going to have to explain who Earl Campbell is probably to some of these youngsters.
Whoa. Aiden D'Amico slung to the turf, and he pops up quickly, but he'll lose a couple. And that was close to a horse collar tackle.
Again, They grabbed the jersey, and pretty good strength program down there. They got a pretty good wrestling program down in Point Pleasant, and those guys, especially on the offensive line, you can tell by their feet, man, it's hard to get them off their feet.
2nd and 15. Virgil, 17 carries for 138 yards so far here tonight. His biggest rushing night of his career. Myers rolling near side, looking to throw. Still looking. Has all kinds of time. He'll turn it upfield, pick up some more yardage, spins off of one tackler. He's out short of midfield by a yard to the 49. He gets 10 on 2nd and 15.
And, you know, I'm looking at our roster, Brian. We got Aiden D'Amico at 6'5", 225. Now, I've seen him bump sizes up before.
I think they may have got
That's
those
a
numbers.
stretch.
I think
That's a
those,
stretch.
the 5 and the 6 may have been transposed there. Myers, 3rd and 5, looking to throw, setting up a screen and overshoots Hunter Brown. He had him, Jeff. The play was there. They had it lined up beautifully. Just couldn't connect.
Yeah, Point Pleasant's defensive front, I think, recognized what it was, but it was too late. They were already looking at Virgil in the eye, and he just threw it a little bit too long that time. As you said, had it wide open over there on that left side, and Brown might have still been running.
So 4th and 5 at their own 49. They'll go for it, trailing by 2 scores with 10:06 remaining in the ball game. Myers in the gun, Brown to his left, 2 receivers either side. Snap back, steps up in the pocket. He's got room to run. He's got the first down. He splits defender, still on his feet. 35, 30. Brought down from behind by Schoon. Touchdown saving tackle, Virgil Myers. Not to be denied, Jeff. All the way down to the 27-yard line. That's a gain of 24.
Like the Energizer Bunny, he just keeps going and going and going, and you don't have him down till you knock him off his feet, and that's one of the attributes that he has, Brian, as a football player.
Great equalizer is an athletic quarterback that can hurt you with his feet. Virgil has done that here tonight. He has 172 yards rushing. Bubble caught left side. Boyd makes a man miss, dives out across the 25 down to the 23, gain of 4. That connection, you better get used to that one because we're going to see that next year.
And Parker Boyd has really blossomed here late in the year, Brian. He's had the injury bug also, but the last few games he's really stepped it up and done a great job out there at that wide receiver spot.
Really tough too as well, Jeff. He has battled through some injuries this year, made some tough catches. Myers calls his own number again, and he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage, and he went down awkwardly. Yeah. Thankfully, he pops back up.
That didn't look good. Good thing he gave with that tackle because he was in a precarious situation, Brian, as you said. And the right knee was exposed, but he pops up, as you said.
Jake Roberts on the stop. 3rd and 7, and they'll get 5 free ones as Schoon was in the neutral zone, trying to time up the Viking snap count, so that will help the Vikings a little bit.
Sure does. And you know, Brian, we can get down here and score. A lot of time left on this clock, over 8 minutes to go. It's winding down, but there's still plenty of time for the Vikings if they can get on the board to make this thing a ball game once again.
We've had 2 come from behind wins this year. Can we make it 3?
This would be the biggest of those. That's for sure.
Myers under center. Give is to Brown, running room. He dives inside the 15. It'll be a Viking first down. Down to about the 13, gain of 6.
I think Brown was surprised that he got through the line of scrimmage as clean as he did and had that forward lean expecting some contact and may have brought himself down a little early, but he does get the first down yardage. Big play. 1st and 10, Vikings.
Football to 13, so they can get a first down. Clock starting to be their enemy at this point. Under 8 minutes remaining in the ball game. Again, under center, 2 tight ends, full house backfield for Myers. Play clock at 3. looking to throw. He's got to get outside the defender. He does. Nowhere to go with it. He just makes a man miss, and a great job to not block in the back down there, Jeff. That would have been really easy to block the defender in the back. Did not do that, and Virgil made something happen. He's going to be really close to first down yardage, down to the 4.
And a good thing about it is that it is only second down, and as you said, Brian, they can still make a first down inside the 5-yard line. So big play once again here for the Vikings.
Same formation, right hash. Give is to Brown. He bowls into that interior of the defensive line. He'll pick up about 1.5 yards. Down to roughly the 2.5. That'll be first down.
So here we are. First and goal for the Vikings. 6:55 on a running clock. They trail 21-8. They could really make put a little pressure on the Black Knights here if they get this thing in the end zone.
First and goal at the 2. Myers calls his own number, and he's into the end zone. Vikings crawl back into it, Jeff. They're within a score, 21-14. And if they get this 2-point conversion, all they'd have to do if they can get a stop is score a touchdown.
That's exactly right, partner. And, the Viking coach staff, talking to those who are still on the sideline that play on the defensive side. Of course, kick coverage is important also. Not to let Point Pleasant get a big return on the kick, but let's take care of business here and try to get this conversion.
So Myers with D'Amico to his right, 3 receivers to his right, rolling right, looking to throw, gets outside. He can run it or throw it. What will he do? He'll turn it up, run it into the end zone. Virgil Myers makes it a 21-16 ball game. Vikings get a stop and a touchdown. They can win this thing.
As they battle their way right back into it, very reminiscent of last week. And trailing by 5, as you said, Brian, if we can get a stop, get the ball back, all we have to do is get it in the end zone one more time and pull a huge upset here at Memorial Stadium.
6:32 remaining in the ball game. Vikings, unfortunately, Jeff, had to burn a timeout in this first half.
Yep, you're
which
right.
could come back to haunt them.
Now, how important is this kick coverage team right here for the blue and white? Point Pleasant's going to try to get a huge return off this kick. We have not been able to kick the ball deep. So the up men, I'm sure they'll pull their guys up a little bit and look for a big return.
So Gandy will kick it off for the Vikings, the left footer.
They have their up backs pulled up, their blocking backs pulled up to the 40.
They're going to onside kick it. Point Pleasant ready for it. Point Pleasant will have great field position. At their own 49-yard line. Heads up play there to fall on that football by Connor Hatton.
Sophomore running back for the Big Blacks. And, Brian, I don't know if that's such a bad idea.
It surprised me. I did not expect to see that, but Point Pleasant was not surprised by it. Roach will keep it. He has running room. Down across the 40, down to about the 38. Virgil on the stop. And that's probably why you saw Coach Sayre roll the dice there, Jeff, because you know what those guys can do when they get the football.
That's exactly right, and the Viking defense now really going to have to step up. Let's see if we can get a strip. Once again, where's Casto at? Let's see if you can go make a play, young man.
Well, he's had a knack for doing that. Through 9.5 games, he has 8 fumble recoveries. Roach in the gun. He'll keep it again. Right side, still on his feet, fighting through Viking tacklers, diving out to the about 28, and that's probably a first down.
Yeah, and you can see as he went through the interior of that Viking defense, they were trying to strip it away from him. but they couldn't, and he continued to move forward. It's going to be second and short, Brian.
So a field goal for them, Jeff, would make it an 8-point game. So if the Vikings keep them out of the end zone and they kick a field goal, the Vikings would still be in it. 5:28 to go, clock ticking. Point Pleasant trying to bleed as much of that play clock out as possible. Roach again keeps it right up the middle, breaks one tackle, still on his feet, down to the 20, down to the 19, gain of 9 on 1st and 10.
So Coach Darce not taking any chances. He's going to stick with the one that brought him to the dance, and that's Roach, and he's kind of taking this on his shoulders. And very, very good runner, very, very good with possession of the ball. Not apt to fumble, but boy, one would be really nice right here for the Vikings. They could jar it loose.
Big spot, under 5 minutes remaining. Roach, play clock, under 10 seconds. Counter play, it's Hill. Tough sledding in there, he'll pick up a few, down to the 15.
Casto, Noah upset with himself. He had him in the hole. Took a shot at him, couldn't bring him down. He runs forward for additional yardage. Now 2nd and 4, or excuse me, 6, 4-yard gain.
A couple of Vikings in there, as you said, raking away at that football, trying to pull it out of there. Turnover would be huge. Still 4 minutes remaining. Hill in motion. Roach will keep it, and he takes a shot. On the right side of that Viking defense, Boyd and Ethan Kay in there.
Good job of coming up and laying the lick, as you said, Brian. He was 8 yards down the field before they got to him. So 3rd and 2, big 3rd down play here for the Viking defense. Let's see if we can get a stop. Make a decision on 4th down. 3:32 to go on a running clock here in the 4th period.
Well within field goal range for Schrader. And there's a timeout on the field. Doesn't look like, it looks like maybe an equipment timeout. Check in with Phil here in a moment. 3:30, clock turning. 3rd and 2 at the Viking 11 on the right hash. Roach in the gun. Empty set. He'll keep it, calls his own number, and a great push up front by the Point Pleasant offensive line, and Roach into the end zone, and that'll do it. Point Pleasant looks like they're going to hang on here at Memorial Stadium on just what was an outstanding effort by Evan Roach to get into the end zone.
Yeah, the Vikings got a good dose of Roach there on that series, Brian, as he put the game on his shoulders and finds the end zone, extending the lead to 27-16, pending the point after.
Schrader. Snap back, placement down, kick is up, and it is good. He remains perfect tonight, 28-16. Let's go down to the sideline. All's Tires sideline report. Phil, barring a kickoff return, that may have been what Point Pleasant needed to seal this game.
It wasn't exactly the way we wanted that last drive to go, but I'll tell you what, there's no quit in this Ripley Viking team. They knew how important this game was tonight. They knew how important it was to send these seniors out with a victory, and how important it was just to play for themselves, especially for the guys that are going to be here. They're going to be Vikings again next year. But you know what? What a performance by Virgil Myers tonight. You're talking about a guy that is not just important on offense, not just important on defense, but even special teams. It's not too often that you get somebody that's so important on all three facets of the game, and what a performance. Goodrich Tire and extraordinary value. All's Tires on Sula.
All right, Phil. Thank you. If that is our final time to go to you this year, we appreciate you, and we appreciate All's Tires sponsoring the Sideline Report again this year. Can't give up hope. 12-point game. Vikings need to score, and they need to score quickly if they want to have any chance to hang around here and pull the upset. Schrader to kick off. Jenkins and Lawrence deep. Low kick. Casto fields it at the 3 off a hop, or off 30 off a hop. Into the secondary. Cutting it back at the 40. Noah Casto. No quitting that kid.
Big return for the Vikings as Casto crosses the midfield stripe, gets beyond the 40 and down almost to the Point Pleasant 35. That's where the Vikings will take over at about the 37. So great field position. 2 minutes, 59 seconds to go here in the final period. Vikings, as you said, trail by 12.
Do they have any heroics left in him? Myers looking to throw. He'll step up. He's hit. Ball is nearly intercepted as it was deflected in the air. It will fall to the turf, thankfully.
Yeah, and that's 2 large individuals that met at the quarterback that time as Virgil got sandwiched as he's trying to deliver that football. And very fortunate that that ball wasn't picked off.
Every one of our kick returners has done a fantastic job, Jeff, all season long, getting north and south as soon as they get it. And that's what has produced some of these great kick returns and given the Vikings hope here. Myers looking to throw. All kinds of time. Rolling to his right. Now he's going to tuck it in. 35, 30, angling to the near side boundary, and he'll step out of bounds at the 27. He'll pick up 10.
Got
Should
everything
be a
he
first down.
could get out of that, Brian, before he tiptoed out of bounds to stop the clock. I believe it's going to be enough for the first down as they're moving the chain. So the Vikings still have life, not giving up, giving maximum effort here on this final drive.
Vikings will not go away here this evening, and there is an injured Point Pleasant player on the turf. Let's take a quick timeout. 28-16, the Vikings trail with 2:41 remaining here in regulation. Stay with us. More Viking football after this. C98, the Bull.
Down in the backfield by number 8.
Backfield on what appeared to be Caden Hill was offsides, but apparently timed it up perfectly. Second down and 15 for the Vikings. Virgil, it's 13 yards for 200 tonight. Rolling right, looking to throw. Throws down to the flat, caught by Hunter Brown, and he'll have it down to back to roughly the original line of scrimmage, out to 28-yard line.
So another big third down play here for the Vikings in Point Pleasant territory. Minute 51 to go now on the running clock. Vikings trail by 12, 28-16. Big third down.
Myers in the gun, looking to throw. Have to step up in the pocket. He's going to be brought down back at the 31-yard line, so a loss of 3 more. And the Vikings will have to burn a timeout. And it'll bring up fourth down, Jeff, in about 13 and a half.
And a big play, as you said, Brian, fourth down, 14. And the season quickly coming to an end here. Valiant effort by the Vikings against a very good Point Pleasant football team.
Really, Jeff, maybe their best. This might have been the Vikings' best effort of the year, considering who's lined up on the other side of the football. They've played inspired football. They've fought all night long. They have not given up. Even in moments like this, you get a big kickoff return, trailing by 2 scores, to give yourself an opportunity. And we converted on one of these big 4th downs last week. Maybe we can do it again here.
Yeah, stranger things have happened. But we'll see. I'm sure that this will be one exciting play one way or another.
4th and 14 from the Point Pleasant 31. Here's Myers in the gun. Snap back, looking to throw. A lot of pressure, steps up. He's got running room. 25-20. He's got the first down, maybe a touchdown. 10-5. Diving.
Let's see what they're going to do.
No indication yet. Touchdown, Virgil Myers. 31 yards out. He goes over 200 yards for the night and keeps the Vikings alive.
They're going to say no. They're going to spot it.
All right, so they'll back it up. Take that off the board. At the 3, first down.
Did he go out of bounds? I didn't think he was that close to the out of bounds line.
I'm not sure what the
Is this the 2-point
what
conversion?
the holdup is. Okay, so it's the 2-point conversion. Yes, they were quickly back to the line. The points are on the board. Myers rolling right, steps up in the pocket. He'll tuck it, dive. 2-point conversion's good. Virgil Myers with 1:20 to go, keeping the Vikings alive here. You got to believe another onside kick on the way for the Vikings. Let's talk about this effort tonight. 28-24, the Vikings trail. 3rd rushing touchdown of the night for Virgil Myers. What an effort. What a performance by the junior here tonight.
And the Vikings have clawed their way right back into this thing. And let's see what happens here on this kickoff. Myers makes it to the sideline, and he is spent, as you can imagine.
Virgil Myers, 26 carries, 215 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Well,
have a night, Virgil Myers.
Coach Darsh said they got a pretty good quarterback over there. He was right.
And he's a junior. So he's coming back next year, as Mason Gandy will attempt what you would imagine will be an onside kick. The hands team on the field for the Black Knights. Gandy, the left footer, and timeout's going to be called by Coach Darst. He wanted to see what type of look the Vikings were going to give.
You only have 10 players on the field. Not what you want for an onside kick.
That would be enough to upset a head coach, burn a timeout.
Will they come up close enough to where we can kick it over their head?
Well, put Aiden D'Amico on one side and give him an opportunity. Let's see who's out there. Don't see 20 on the field. Well, yeah, there he is on the far side.
Let's see how far they bring him up. They're lining up at about the 30. Between the 30 and the 35. Yeah, they're going to come up to the 30-yard line.
Pretty smart.
So,
Gandy, onside kick. There it is. And it's covered up. Point Pleasant ready for it. And they do. Right at the 49-yard line.
The Vikings only have one timeout left, as we had to burn one early, I think, Brian, in this half, that has come back to bite us a little bit here late in this game. But
So Caden Hill smothers that one at midfield, and that basically Point Pleasant can take a knee a couple of times here, and that'll do it. So line up in everyone's favorite formation.
well, Roane County will have a chance to go to number 1 in the state as Winfield has beaten the number 1 Scott Skyhawks by a score of 34-14 tonight. Roane County handling Ravenswood's 50-13 in the third period. The other undefeated team in AA Independence is winning at Wyoming East, or they've won 66-0. So they may move up too. So Roane County might be in the catbird seat, partner. They got a pretty good team over there.
They have an outstanding team, Jeff, and you got to believe that they're going to be one of those teams that will be discussed when things roll around to Super 6 late in November.
Fairmont Senior hangs out there as number 8. That's the team that you got to watch out for.
So Roach takes a snap, takes a knee again. 3rd and 18 now as the clock will tick under a minute remaining. It's kind of surprising to see them line up even in that pistol formation. You get a bad snap when you're taking a knee, it could really go sideways for you.
I'd say this will be victory formation. Well,
stay in that same formation. Maybe we'll get a bad snap here. Roach takes it, takes a knee, and that'll do it.
What a ball game.
Great game by the Vikings tonight as they battled and fought to the bitter end, and the Viking faithful will give them a round of applause, and rightfully so, as the minutes of the 2022 season click away here from Death Valley Memorial Stadium. The Black Knights improved to 5-4. The Vikings will fall to 3-7 this season. We'll step out when we return. We'll have the WVU Medicine Jackson General Hospital post-game report after this. C98, the Bold. Time in 2022, the WVU Medicine Jackson General Hospital post-game report. And Jeff, you look at some of these stats, and you can see why this game was so close. The Vikings outrushed Point Pleasant by 1 yard tonight. 255 on the ground for the Vikings, 254 for Point Pleasant. 291 total yards for the Vikings, 278 for Point Pleasant. The game plan was fantastic. We ran 18 more plays than Point Pleasant. We held the football for over 11 minutes and 10 seconds more than Point Pleasant had it tonight. We gave ourselves a chance. We converted 7 of 15 on third down, 4 of 5 on fourth down, and we had Virgil Myers in the backfield, so we gave ourselves a chance.
Yeah, great effort by this Viking team here tonight. You got a handful of seniors out there that won't be playing here at Death Valley Memorial Stadium again in their careers, and that's a tough thing. Mark and I were just sitting up here talking about it, Brian, and you remember this, for your life. You know where you were, you know who you played, you know what the score was, and a lot of thoughts run through the minds of these young men. And 28-24, if you would have told most people that this game would be this close, they'd have laughed at you. Instead of 4 points, people were talking 4 touchdowns. But our kids came out, and a great game plan as far as controlling the ball, keeping the Point Pleasant offense off the field as much as possible, because when they did get it, they usually got it in the end zone. They're very potent on the offensive side of the ball. We did a good job of blocking them up front. Our kids did a good job of running hard, and then, of course, you said it, Virgil, with over 200 yards rushing from the quarterback position tonight. I know we would like to have that last INT back, but, when you look down, and Mark and I saw it both from our vantage point, it looked like we were definitely being held out there as Parker Boyd was trying to go across the middle, and Virgil threw it where he thought he was going to be, and he just couldn't get there. So tough play right there, but that was one play in a play of many, and
can't fault the effort. You cannot fault the effort tonight.
Way.
Effort was there, the execution was there, the game plan was there. We just and it happens. You lose to a better team, and that happens. You tip your cap to Point Pleasant, and you wish them luck the rest of the way. They'll, as you mentioned earlier, we'll go down to Winfield next week and take on Coach Eddie Smolder's club, who's having a great year down in Winfield, Jeff. But you look forward to next year. You've got names like Myers, Boyd, D'Amico, Colin Moore, Bradley Anderson, Noah Casto. You can go down the line. You got a good nucleus coming back, and a team that can improve. They got better down the stretch. They won 2 of 4 to end the season, and they take some momentum into the offseason, and you got those young playmakers coming back. Who knows what can happen next year?
Britt, Ethan Kay, it goes on, and need a good off season, need a good summer in the weight room, and bigger, stronger, faster is what we got to get if we're going to compete in this AAA division. I mean, we played the schedule this year, Brian, that not being in a conference, it's hard to get the games you need to get the points you need to get yourself into the rankings high enough to where you could possibly get a home game without winning them all. So tough task ahead, but I got a pretty good nucleus coming back. You're right.
As we wrap it up here from Memorial Stadium, we put a bow on 2022. Remember to tune to C98 tomorrow. I believe 8:30 a.m. the pregame will begin. Jennifer Redmond will be back at the station as she burns the midnight oil tonight. She gets back at it early tomorrow as West Virginia will host TCU in Morgantown. Be sure to join Tony Caridi and crew for the pregame show on C98 tomorrow. Jeff, we don't talk about Jennifer and Sean and all of those who have worked back at Viking Control all season long, but they do such good work, and we can't thank them enough for being there and catching all the breaks and giving us time to catch our breath. So thank you to those, Jennifer and Sean.
do a tremendous job, go behind the scenes. And you're right. We couldn't do it without them, that's for sure.
Obviously, it was good to have Shadow in the booth with us tonight. My big brother Mark up here. It's been a C98 reunion in the booth tonight, and it was nearly a fantastic night to be a Viking. We fell just a bit short, Jeff, but, our next broadcast of Viking Sports will be a little more than a month from now on December the 10th in Clarksburg. You and I will make the trip to Robert C. Byrd. The Viking boys basketball team will be in action there on Saturday, and you and I will be there, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, I may sneak in a trip to see the grandson while I'm up there, and the daughter and the son-in-law.
You mean you may sneak in a trip to do a basketball game when you go see your grandson?
That's it.
That
You're right. We'll get them at the game.
Buddy, it's been fun, man. I've enjoyed it. Great season. Thank you for your efforts always.
Always good to be with you, Brian. You know that. And I wish we would have had a few more W's on the schedule this year, but it just didn't happen. But here at the end of the year, the Vikings played some exciting football, and it was fun to watch these last two games here at home, senior night, and then here tonight against the Big Blacks in the old Oaken Bucket. The Vikings just come up a little bit short. Phil,
it's great spending a year with you again, man. Enjoyed it. Broke bread with you a few times. We had some good trips, so enjoyed it. Look forward to next year.
Here, here.
Big brother Mark here. We did a game with him at St. Albans. Enjoyed that. Thanks for filling in for Jeff when he took his third vacation of the Viking football season.
Hey, I'm old. I've got seniority.
Folks, we'll wrap it up. Thank you to all of our sponsors of Viking football all season long right here on C98 The Bull. Special thanks to Rick Shannon, our station manager, and Jennifer Redmond back at Viking Control. Our guys from Mountaintop Media, great job as always. Enjoyed being with you. Thanks for putting up with all my technical difficulties. Nick, you bailed me out I don't know how many times. Appreciate you guys. You guys do a great job, and what you do for these kids, they're going to get to watch this the rest of their lives. So big thanks to you guys. Vikings fall to Point Pleasant tonight, 28-24. We'll be back with you, Viking basketball, in December. For Jeff Waybright, Phil Lyman, I'm Brian Johnson. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great night. God bless.